All right, all right. Good afternoon, traders. As usual, we're going to give it a little bit of time. Let everybody jump in. And get access to what's going on. Still got people jumping in. Good morning, Sandy. I'm very sorry to hear that you had an emergency. I hope you or everyone is okay. We missed you in the options. Hi, Bob. Good to see you. Good afternoon, Steve. Thank you as always. Okay, one more second here. We're going to dive in. All right. All right, all right, all right. Okay, welcome out, everyone, to the Market Watch Group weekly market wrap. Good week overall, I would say. Definitely seeing some buyer fatigue here as we pull into the week. Great. That's not a problem for us at all. But let's just dive in. Let's go through our normal routine and let's see where we believe that puts us. As always, I am Scott. I just actually got a text. Someone mentioned or asked about Gary, and I just got a text. And so we're going to chat. I'm going to see about the possibility of have him doing something next week and then really starting to join in the group more going into the new year. So he's excited. I'm excited. You should be excited. Here are the disclaimers. Same as always. And let me take care of one thing here. Okay, here's our agenda. Today's market. What happened? What did it mean? What are the implications? What did you do? What are you thinking of doing that you haven't done yet? We'll revisit our posture to see if it's going to change. Better, worse, the same? If you're not closing, what are you going to do with the trades you're going to carry over the weekend? Close some, tighten stops. Do you have targets? Do you have an idea of how much room is left relative to how much risk you're taking? Don't let your reward to risk. Now, here's the thing. Your objective, I'm going to pause for a second. When you're in momentum mode, which is probably where you are if you're still in trades mostly, your objective is, you know, to is not to try to maintain the exact same reward to risk ratio throughout the length and the duration of the trade. If I start with a 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio and all of a sudden it starts to move in that first little bit as it transitions out of stage 2 developing into stage 3 momentum, in that beginning, as we transition in that stage, the reward to risk ratio is going to skew, right? And it might even drop to like 1-to-1. And if it's only there for a minute and a day or two, and I'd really like to see it stay above 1.5. But I mean, that's not our objective. Our objective is, can we start tightening stops? Can we start taking risk out of the trade? But there will. I mean, I've had people say, "Oh, my reward to risk dropped, so I tighten my stop," and then they stop themselves out of the trade. And it's like, I get it. The reward to risk is important. But in that transition, we have to be a little bit patient with it. Now, when we get to the point of a stage 4 where we're nearing completion, well, then, yeah, at that point, there's no way I'm going to let my reward to risk ratio skew. Right at that point, because it's stage 4, which means right nearing completion, we're getting close. There's just not much left, whether there's not much price movement left or not much time left. That will alter what we're thinking. So that's kind of how I like to look at it. Hey, hello, Michael. Good to see you. Glad you could join us. Bob said he's closed several, watching several more. Love it. That makes sense to me. And we still have things setting up, I believe. So we'll look at what to look for next week, talk about the economic calendar. We'll review our watch list, and then we'll oh my gosh, I completely forgot. I spaced, and I owe you guys a video, but I didn't get it done, and I apologize. I will get it done. I owe you analytics. I did not see you sent me a private message. Shoot, I didn't see that come in. Stop for Intel is close, not there yet. Oh, love it. We'll talk about Intel. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. Let's get into it. What are we doing here? Okay, so this is funny because I traded PNC, but at some point I put a paper trade on the same contract. And full disclosure, on PNC, I had been out. I mentioned that. So I was out in this range here. I didn't get this last piece. I told that, but I just sort of left these options. Okay. So this is funny because it's just this paper account where I will demonstrate things, right? And where is it? I need to go back in time. If anyone ever knows how to play with this when you're in Thinkorswim, if you're going in your history, you need to take this back and try to go back as far as you can. 360, if it lets me. I don't know if it will. It won't. Oh, it's like not showing my basis. My basis for the PNC was 79 cents. And those options were worth $18 today. That was not what it was worth. Let me see if I can show this now. I won't be able to. That'll just waste our time. Anyway, hilarious. I was like, whoa, if only. But there was no reason, right? I said I missed this. This just sort of exploded. I got all this. It was great. But yeah, they were 79 cents back here. 18 over here. And probably they're $6, $7, but still 79 cents to $6. Come on, no complaints. No complaints. All right. Let's talk about, where's my agenda? So what happened today? Let's get into that. SPY. Buyer fatigue. That's what I'm going to say. Buyer fatigue. We saw it give us kind of an abandoned baby, gapped up, gave us this little guy here. And then it gapped back down. You don't see as much of the gap because of this shadow, but that's still valid. Island reversal, whatever you want to call it. We're not surprised. We're not surprised. Here's what's interesting about volume. This was technically an up day and it had above average volume. This is technically a down day and it has above average volume. So, we'll have to decide how we do with those. With volume, I think it'll just wash out. Overall volume is going to increase, I think, because stay the same, I think, because we did get this. We got buying, selling. I don't know. It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens with that. Let's look at the VIX today. Where are you, VIX? Still pretty low overall. Nothing too concerning for us yet. The drawing of my consolidation line, I would say as of right now, I am putting it like that. Which means that right now, if it gets to 13, bing, up here, half a hedge. It'll be cheap. I'll put it on half a hedge. From there, yeah, I'm always a little concerned in an area like this because I think, well, if I do break out of that and get to here and then it pulls back and only gets to 13, well, then I have the higher low. That is the most likely sources. Those are the most likely sources where I would hedge. A break of the consolidation line, half a hedge. That's only a halfer. Then if we got a higher low, that is a full hedge right there. Yeah. If you're wondering what would it look like to shake me, that's it. That is it. Economic news. Let's take a quick peek. We'll also look ahead at next week at the same time. Let me see here. Where are you? There we are. Well, let's look at Finance Yahoo. Let's see what Yahoo says. Bets are on a March rate cut, but not everyone is buying it. We'll talk about that. So we will have our first Fed meeting January 15th ish. Actually, I think I can tell you exactly the date. Oh no, sorry, not the 15th, the 31st, the end of January. January 31st. March would be the 15th or so. So if I am here, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, the 13th of March, that's when we'll see that. As of right now, what do we have? About 7-1 odds on unchanged again. If there is any expectation, the one is not for a hike, but for a cut. I told you the second that everyone's convinced the Fed is done, what are they going to do? They're going to start asking for cuts. And that's what we're seeing. Okay. Economic calendar. Today, Empire State Manufacturing, terrible. Didn't matter. I don't think that's what caused us to falter. Just so that's clear. Production stayed in line. Utilization stayed in line. The Empire State Manufacturing Survey really doesn't get looked at that much anymore because how much manufacturing does the Empire State do anymore? Next week, home builder confidence. Home builders are doing great right now. Housing starts and building permits, more real estate. Existing home sales, more real estate. So what does that mean? Nothing. There's nothing for us. There is zero concern coming from real estate. Not being talked about, not being looked at, not really concerning, right? Not really concerning. Then we have GDP revision, same thing, nothing concerning there. Friday would be the first time we get any hint of news. We have income spending and we have PCE, which we know is one of the Fed's more favorite measures of inflation. I got distracted because I don't know who at my house is shopping at Tiffany and Company, but it's not me. All right. That's everything. Let's look at let's go through the watch list here from a posture standpoint. From a posture standpoint, SPY, what do we think? That's a new high, you guys. That's by far a new high, right? This is where we were, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were right here. And we got a higher low. Now what? Bam, higher high, quarter point. Definitely. What about the weekly? We said there's room. Oh, the weekly. Now, can we just look? Can we grind along this thing? Some people are like, oh, it's at resistance. Don't close your mind. It looks just like it did there. And I told you, I think that we could move on up all the way into the beginning of the year, which would look exactly like this, right? Exactly like this. Does next week, do we have a little bit of a pullback? It's possible. And then from there, rise? Yes. So I'm still bullish, but my score hasn't improved. Same score, same trend. We're at a 1. Short term will improve. Volume will stay where it is. Let's take a look at our posture just to remind ourselves. What am I on here? Market posture. I'm not sure why that wasn't up. I thought it was up. Yes, I'll view those later. Yes, I am, Stephen. He's asking if I'm going to try his new spreadsheet. I am 100% going to, and I'll transition over to it and extol its virtues. That'll happen. All of it. It's, okay. Staying the same here, rising up a quarter point here, staying the same here, most likely. Small chance it drops, but I feel like buyers are still in control. Sector's not going anywhere because that's strong. Volatility is likely not. I mean, this is very close. Like we could get maybe another quarter here. 6.5, 6.75. That's about, I mean, 7 is, you don't see it get above that. Does a head and shoulders count on the SPY? I mean, a head and shoulders always counts on an SPY. We would see it well before, because in order to have a head and shoulders, you got to have a right shoulder. And in order to have a right shoulder, you got to have a lower high. So we have a left shoulder and we have a head, which just means a higher high. Theoretically, right? So we would say this is the left shoulder, there's the head. It would have to come all the way back down, form the neckline, then come up, make a lower high, and then break the neckline. Yep, at that point, I think we'd be back down here. But that's a lot that has to happen in this transition, right? For example, if it pulls back to here, about where I would expect possibly, anywhere from here to here in that range, anywhere in that range is a higher low and looks fantastic. And I'm ready to trade it bullishly, and I'm going to look for bullish trades in that window, most definitely. Great question. Thank you for bringing it up. Apple. I mean, if you manage to stay in it, great. I've already booked gains in it. Weren't great. Neither was IBM. Still made money. Adobe. Woo. Adobe got beat up pretty hard. AIG is pretty hard. Or I mean, Aflac is pretty hard. AMD, I still think is viable. AIG is coming back and I think is viable. AMD overextended. Anyone still in this one? Press, I know you traded this. Are all profits taken? You can see it's just 4 days straight, not going anywhere. I love it. Bob said his best month ever. Beautiful. Great number of trades, great profit. God, I love to hear that. I made my week. I hope you guys will share that with me if things start doing better, because I don't believe that we do better by accident. We have way too much in our process to be like, oh, we just sort of looked into it. I would like to think that, but awesome. Congratulations. Well done, you. Michael said it had been great yesterday. Well done. God, I mean, it makes me stoked, you guys. Press said hit his highest account balance ever on Wednesday, scraped all chips off the table. Like, holy shit, you guys. This is so cool that you're sharing that with me. Like, it seriously makes me so happy to hear it. Much appreciated. All right, let's keep going. Today, the Russell topped our markets with the Dow. Well, remember, Stephen, we like the Russell participating in. So the Russell showing that strength, as long as it can exceed the Dow. So yeah, I like the Russell. It'll be an interesting one. We'll see, because the Dow has had some strength. I definitely see what you're talking about there. Okay. Amazon. Right? This was an interesting one because it's moved. It just never really gave much. I never was convinced. There's a lot of volatility and choppiness, but not a lot of clean signals. I'll keep watching it and see. APH, just absolute stellar company. I'd love to see that pull back and give us another chance at it. AXP, am I right? Am I right? Am I gonna, this is there's really been no indication. Am I taking that quarter to a third off for some profit because it's Friday and you never know? Yes, I am. I know at least a few of you are in this one. Have you taken some? Are you taking some? Are you holding some? Let me know, because it's God, the financials have been an absolute monster. WFC, I mean, really take your pick, right? AXP, BX is another one that I did. You could have done WFC, you could have done BLK, BK, BX, COF. I mean, God, it's just the group is phenomenal right now. So yeah, love it. Boeing just won't give us a chance. I bet this thing is on a Heiken-Ashi dream. Oh, look at that. Brrr, hasn't seen a red day since November 8th. Boeing. Speaking of, what did it do? Broke its consolidation and gave us a higher low right in there. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's what we look for. That's all. That's all. BK. I mean, these are the things. If you're in it, it's definitely time to start locking some gains in. BlackRock, especially. Great signal back here when they all gave their signals. BX is another one I did on an anticipatory. Love it. That one I'm taking probably will go to the half. Okay, I did half. I did. Do I sometimes fire trades off on the other screen while we're talking? I'm not going to confirm or deny. Neither confirm nor deny. But that's, I mean, it's a great move on up. Anything. Citi. Oh, not Citi. Not Citi. Capital One, yes. ConocoPhillips. No, nothing's there for us. Costco. Okay, press. What's the result? He said he felt stupid confident and it bore out. I said if it gets up near 640, I would take everything off the table before earnings. And it's like I was right for a day when it started to fall, and then he was right after earnings and it smashed higher. God, I love Costco. I'm going to Costco today. I may buy a $5 chicken for no other reason than they have delicious $5 chickens. That's all I need. Okay. Crowd, strong but overextended. We need a window to trade. DHI starting to maybe give a window. DIA, again, a lot of things are showing us some buyer fatigue. We're not at all surprised by that. Fastenal, right? Didn't catch that one. Really wished I would have. I asked you all to be reflective. Here's my reflection. I've missed some signals because I didn't like some of that volatility. Like I'm like, oh, that candle's too big. I want it to just be a nice little small, perfect candle. I think I've got to get past that. I think there's too many times where I'm like, yeah, I talked about that one, but I didn't trade it because, and then I watch it go on up. I'm always wanting to get better. So that's my reflection. I feel good about how I managed risk and trades during August and September and October. I mean, I felt like we saw that pretty early. We dialed back. We really made a conscious effort not to overtrade. Is there still some frustration in that period of time? Of course there is, right? But overall, I'm going to give myself maybe a solid A minus for that. Gold. Yeah, gold. Stupid gold. Google. Okay, right. This looks like it's setting up again. Oops. Not Apple. There was another one that I was thinking looked setting up. Maybe we'll see it going forward. I feel like it moved up, did something, came back, but it's finding support here. So if someone thought consolidation, well, thank you, Bob. I got a AAA rating from Bob's service. Yeah, I think this looks viable. Monday, if it looked like that and this thing turns, I think I'm gonna go. I like it. Communication services is showing signs of life. Gap. That might be it. That's the sellers. That's what the sellers did. Not much. Little flag, little consolidation. Look at this thing turning. I wouldn't do an anticipatory on Monday, but I'm watching very closely. If it breaks above 21.75, I'm in. So keep an eye on Gap. I love consumer discretionary. Home Depot just way overextended, but IBM didn't do great with this. It's a break even. Anyone else trade out? I think a couple other people said they took IBM. It broke even. Went up. I thought it was doing well. Started to pause. And then, so I actually booked a little gain here, but on a third, but on the rest of it, good call, Press. I pushed a little. Here I booked a third, quarter to a third, and then ended up stopping out on this. It came back up, but I was done in, small loss. So well done taking a small gain on that sucker. ICE overextended. Intel. I have I've booked some gain, a third, the quarter to a third. I'm still in this one. It sounds like Steven's still in this one. Am I going to take a little more? Yes. Yes. I don't love 2 days in a row. We got up here near 47. Now we're back at 46. So I don't love that it's failing up there. But do I still want to hold a piece? I do want to hold a piece just to see. One small piece. Oh, Steven's only holding one as well. Nice. Most of the gain is booked. Mostly a really profitable trade. Love it. I mean, let's be honest. Industrials and financials was really where the action was. So anything you did in technology, anything you did in communication services, anything you did in consumer discretionary, victory. Victory. Bob said he got 2,100 profit on RF Financial. Love it. Regional bank. Closed Intel for profit today, Bob. Nice. IWM. It gave us our little signal off this flag. Remember, we talked about it. Smashed up. Looks like it's kind of in that cup, hitting this old resistance. I absolutely am looking for a handle. I'd let it pull back all the way to 190 and still like it. Just looks pretty good there. JP Morgan. Beautiful. If I was in it, I'd have most of it, but I might still carry that a little bit. Meta. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this one. I still have a piece on. I can't decide. I think I might just call it. I don't love the way this is doing. It really seems to just kind of be stalling every time it gets near 338. I might just call it. We'll see. Microsoft. Okay. So Microsoft's did anyone else trade this? And if so, did you take a loss? I took the loss. Some people might still be in it. And if you are, I don't want to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have stayed in. It didn't break support. Why did I take the loss? Because I decided that this, at this point, was the momentum I was looking for, right? Which means I'm going to tighten my stop, but I didn't get to tighten it very much, like maybe right through here, which means entering here and then being 5 days later wasn't bad. Less than half. Nah. But now what? Well, if it holds this support and starts to turn, will I consider it again? Yes. Bob says still holding. Okay. Netflix, I would say, is on a consolidation now. And if you didn't trade this, definitely there's a pullback coming that can give you something else. Okay. I told you I wouldn't do it. I said this one is in consolidation mode. I made my declaration, but it busted on up out of here. Michael's in. Okay. Good job. Well done. Here's the thing. I mean, this is clearly a much higher low than this. Judgment call. I love it. I love that you did it. Especially if you feel like you followed your rules. Yeah. What am I looking for? Well, could go a little higher, maybe not. When it comes back down, I'm thinking maybe through here's where it pulls back to. That's a higher low. In. Okay. PDD took it. It's just kind of feels like it's dying on the vine. Took half. I took half. Small gain, half. Let's see what happens come Monday. PLTR. I didn't take this one. And this morning, I'm like, oh, man, maybe I should have. Maybe not after all. Let's see. SMCI looks better, I think. PNC. I want another bite at the apple. Got to be patient. QQQ. The NASDAQ looks ridiculously strong and healthy. So let's just wait for it to take a breath and then get ready to trade again. RCL. I don't know. I don't know what to do with something like that. Really moving fast. Roku getting beat up. Shopify. Took it. Booking it. Yeah, that's about it, right? We had a nice little signal right through here. And then it sort of meandered and then bing, bing, nice little pop. Again, anything you squeeze out of communication services or discretionary or tech, well done. I did not take this one. Anyone do this one? Looks good. Looks like it has some room still. Snapify looks overextended. SPY on a bit of a pullback, a little bit of a consolidation. Tesla. Don't love the way Tesla is moving right now. I don't know about anyone else. UBS maybe starting to pull back. So we do have, I think we have some communication services. We have some discretionary. There's a couple of places that are still showing a potential for trade, even with everything else going on. UNP, anybody? That's an interesting one. I would definitely be looking at pulling that one out, at least some of it out. Visa, woo, not great there. VIX still strong. Wells Fargo, oh, yeah, that looks amazing. Are you still in it? Whoever traded this one, you still in it? Great signal. Huge soaring move up. I just can't see the argument to stay holding on. Up, got a 3-banger on that. Love it. Very nice. WMB, nothing there. Walmart, nothing there. US Steel. We put 2 on, or we put 2 on the watch list. If you remember, we did STLD. Now, why would I choose? I thought STLD didn't work. They both ended up working. That's on me. Why did I end up getting rid of this and keeping US Steel? This only trades 1.3 million shares on average. US Steel trades 6. It doesn't look like it because you have this 1 day back here. When I buy shares, they come in lots of 100. No, when you buy shares, you can buy 1 single share if you wanted to. There's no commission these days, or there tends not to be. You should be able to trade commission free. So yeah, if you're like, oh, I want to buy 1 share of US of US Steel, boom, $40, you own a share. So definitely. This one looked great right here. Still looks great, but taking some before the weekend, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know why I thought Steel, but this has better volume and it has better options. That's why I ended up choosing US Steel. Materials looks fine. Communication services back in business, looking good again. Energy is down. We love it. Financials looks phenomenal, but starting a consolidation out of buyer fatigue. Love it. We have trades 2-3 days, maybe all there is. Monday, Tuesday pullbacks, Wednesday trade, Monday pullback, Tuesday trade. Who knows? Let's be ready. Industrials looks very similar. Technology strong and still looks strong. Staples meandering a little bit. When you sell shares, is it an automatic buy on the other end? Somebody's buying them. Yes, there's a buyer. It may not be a person on the other end as a buyer. It may be a market maker. Remember that the market maker is constantly, right, just finagling and moving, and oftentimes he's the buyer because he thinks I'll find a seller at some point. So yeah, there is always a buyer, but it's not always a person. It actually tends to be the market maker mostly, and then that's how things end up shifting. Utilities looks terrible today. Great, we have no interest in that. The discretionary, look at that. We said we liked it and it accelerated even this week. Fantastic. Everything looks good. Let's look at the heat map. Bob said the consumer or technology wasn't up much today. Yeah, because Microsoft and Apple, man, a little bit bringing down the vibe, Let's reload this thing. Don't want it to bring down the vibe. Okay. Oh, Microsoft is up today. Maybe it was just Apple. I don't know. Technology's only up how much? That seems like it would be a little more than that, to be honest. Yeah, mostly ended up red. Look at utilities, just gotten smashed. Real estate smashed. Healthcare, no good. Costco's great. Other than that, consumer defensive is struggling. I mean, it looks like buyer fatigue. Yeah, that's all. I have no problem with that. No problem at all. So, okay, what else? What else? What else? Did we hit everything? Trading plan? I apologize. That's on me. I did not get that video done. You should have your record keeping though, and you should find yourself getting addicted to it. I'll tell you right now that this record keeping format helped me with losing because it gave me an incentive to lose better. Right? I mean, it's not like, hey, I want you to be better at losing. It's like, yeah, it's hard. But it's true. I do want to be better at losing. I'm very good at losing now. I never used to be good at losing. That killed me early in trading. Right. But I've gotten better because I've turned it into a competition. And that competition is I'm better at losing than you are. So I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there, you guys. But how? How did it help? Because when I would close a trade early and take the loss and keep it small, I knew when I would log that trade, it would have an immediate impact on my average losing trade size, right? Where maybe my average loss was showing 400 and it's like, it's 25 trades. So they made $400. Maybe there's 7, 8 losers in there. And all of a sudden I throw a $50 loss down and it's like, just kind of sucks the average down. And you're like, yeah, if you're going to be good at cutting losses and keeping your average loss down, you got to have that. And for me, it was really helpful to know that when I went and logged that trade, it was going to have an immediate impact on keeping if I can keep the losses down, everything else can do their job. So that was super helpful for me. That's what I would say is find your motivation in the record keeping. Record keeping can be cumbersome and I'm prone to it. I tell people all the time, I know how important record keeping is, and I am somewhat prone to laziness as a record keeper. I have to make sure that I keep my motivation, that the process is easy and fluid. And if I can do that, then I know I'm going to have what I need because I want those numbers. So that's what we're wrapping up with. Remember, on Sunday, as we switch gears, we're going to hit section 8, and that is setting trading goals. And that's an important one. That's our improvement process. Okay. Questions, comments, or concerns? Steven said, go look in the Discord in the friends section. No, that's perfect. I just didn't look. I just need to look. Usually it gives me a little notification sound, and I don't remember it giving me that, but we'll see. In foundations, can we have a session on candle patterns? Ooh, that's a good one. So chart construction. Maybe we could do both candle and Heikin-Ashi candle. And I could remove one or combine a couple that I felt could be combined. I love the suggestion. Trading foundations. Pair down. Add candles. Yeah. Love it. That's why the feedback's important. You guys shape what this is. Make it what you want it to be. I'll try to bring my A game, but if you feel like there's something we could be doing better, let me know. This is probably the most fun I've had in coaching, teaching, mentoring, instructing, whatever various roles of this sort. This is far, by far my most favorite of anything I've ever done. It's a culmination of a lot of things, and I'm having a blast. So I hope you're enjoying it. I hope it's informative and educational, and I hope it's profitable. that's that, that's the most important thing. Rules to live by. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Michael says if you can reduce them, well, I wish I had more control over that. I get it. Hey, look, let's just step up our game and get the profits where we don't even think about that. That's just the cost of doing business. And don't forget alerts. Here's what I want you to think about. What would make an alert service great? Great. Obviously, the trade quality. I know that. Beyond that, what about it? Frequency, how to deliver it, what information, what's been frustrating before? Help me shape that. Yeah, help me shape it. How can you send feedback? You can send feedback if you want to open a personal channel on Discord, you can. If you want to put it in the main channel on Discord, you can. If you want to send me an email, you can. If you want to mention it here, how about you send alerts? Michael, you must have missed it. That's what we're looking at is an alert, a cultivated alert. It would most likely come through Discord. So if you're not on there yet, get on there, because I don't want to have to do like a whole separate like email, text. I think that Discord should be, if you're in it, you should be able to have that as part of it. So I'm looking for it to be like a Discord feature. And it would be cultivated trades from our watch list, right? From our watch list. That's where everything's going to come from. I'm not going to just be like, oh, look where this came from. No, it comes from our list. So be thinking about that. If you haven't processed August, September, October yet, please get it done. The longer you wait, the less fresh the perspective and information is. So make that happen. That's great information, because you're going to see that again. You're going to see that 2-3 month period again. You're on Discord, but not on mine. I will send another link on Sunday. The alert service will not start until January, so you're not in a rush. I mean, you're in a rush because it's an amazing way to interact with other members of the group. Bob says we have a great group in his opinion. I 100% agree. I think it's an amazing group. It's only going to get stronger. So I got to run. It's great to see you guys. Sunday morning, let's meet. Let's have coffee. Let's analyze the market. That sounds like a good plan. Let's do that. Have a wonderful weekend. 9 shopping days left till Christmas. Get out there and get it done. And as always, happy trading.